afternoon, everyone. What's that? Yes, got to speak into the microphone to be heard.
Yes.
It is now 3 o'clock. It is time to start our meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Meg, please do the honor.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I know what I didn't do. I didn't print out.
Agenda item number 3, approval of agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as it stands.
Thank you. The motion has been made to approve as is and has been supported. All in favor of approval of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Agenda item number 4, public comment on non-agenda items. There being none, all right, public comment on non-agenda items has now been closed. We are now ready for agenda item number 5, approval of minutes from January 27, 2026.
I move approval of the January 27 meeting minutes.
I support that.
Motion made and supported for the approval of the minutes from January 27, 2026. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Thank you. Agenda item number 6, site plan review for Serenity Outdoors.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Leanna Harris. I'm one of the zoning administrators for the Township, and I will be presenting this item. Michael Lowe with Hurley and Stewart, on behalf of John Croy with Serenity Outdoors, is requesting site plan approval to construct a 6,000 square foot building to serve his landscape contractor's business. The property is shown here on the screen. It's located at 480 South 8th Street. The site is located on the west side of South 8th Street, north of West KL Avenue, and is zoned I-1 Industrial District. Contractor services are considered a permitted use within this zoning district. The site abuts industrial zoning to the north, south, and west. Across the street, properties are zoned R2 Residence District. All general zoning requirements have been met. Access will be provided through a new driveway from South 8th Street, and a driveway permit from the Road Commission of Kalamazoo County has been issued. All circulation aisles meet the minimum required for two-way travel, which is 20 feet. A total of 9 parking spaces are required and are shown on the plan. The accessible space and aisle will have to be constructed in concrete. In lieu of constructing the sidewalk facility along South 8th Street, the property owner has indicated that they would complete the consent to sidewalk special assessment district document with the township, allowing the sidewalk to be constructed at a later time when the township deems it necessary. This document will need to be recorded prior to any certificate of occupancy. The sidewalk is still designed on the plans as required by the ordinance. The proposed building will be situated on the south side of the property and will serve the general operations for their landscape contractor business, including office space. The overall height of the building is about 31.5 feet. It was indicated that the color of the building would be neutral toned, like tan or gray. Elevation details are shown here on the screen and included in the report. The building would have 3 large overhead doors here facing the interior of the site, and 79% of the site would remain in open space. Existing fencing on the site along the southern property line is expected to be removed and replaced with an 8-foot-tall privacy fence. The landscape material storage is proposed to be stacked concrete jersey barriers at a maximum of 8 feet tall. The screening of the trash facilities is proposed to be 6 foot tall, opaque, and compatible with architectural materials used in the development. Site lighting, including wall and pole-mounted fixtures, are proposed on this plan. All lighting must be cut-off fixtures and follow all other requirements as outlined in Article 54 of the zoning ordinance. A landscaping plan was provided with this plan set. The applicant outlined a modification to the greenbelt and screening requirements along the South 8th Street rights-of-way in their narrative. This is due to the unique physical limitations of the consumer's energy utility poles, lines, and the associated easement spanning the property. The proposal is to allow the greenbelt and screening requirements to be satisfied with the proposed plantings, 6-foot-tall berm, and for this to be located within 150 feet of the right-of-way instead of 20 feet. As proposed, this modification still appears to meet the spirit, purpose, and intent of the landscaping ordinance, and it would improve the overall aesthetics and appearance of the right-of-way. Staff is satisfied with this modification as proposed. Interior site landscaping is satisfied by proposed plantings, open space, and the remainder of the existing vegetation after the construction of the stormwater basin. No parking lot landscaping is required because there are less than 10 spots proposed. The Public Works Department does have a few minor concerns regarding some of the engineering details, but they are confident that these can be resolved administratively. Lastly, the fire marshal did review the plans and has determined that a fire hydrant will need to be added to the site. However, all other details were found to be satisfactory and meet code requirements. Planning Department staff recommend that the Zoning Board of Appeals approve this site plan to allow for the construction of a 6,000 square foot building and associated site improvements at 480 South 8th Street with the conditions as outlined in the staff report. I also saw the applicant and the property owner here in the audience this afternoon, if you have any questions for them.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from the property owner or any applicants? Please, at one at a time, approach the lectern and state your name.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Lowe with Hurley & Stewart. Thank you, Leanna, for the presentation. So she did a pretty good job of summarizing everything we've been going back and forth with. As she mentioned, that consumer's easement is running through kind of the middle of that property. So there's a lot of restraints in it. So we have done our best to coordinate with Leanna and the rest of the township staff to ensure that we are meeting all the codes that are outlined in the zoning ordinance. If you guys have any further questions regarding the plans, I'd be more than happy to answer those, but I do think John is going to briefly just give kind of a summary of what they do and kind of their business.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Croy. I represent Serenity Outdoors. I am the owner and operator of the landscaping company. We focus on hardscape construction, so retaining walls, patios, outdoor fire features, water features, that kind of fun stuff, and also focus on plantings and new bed installations. We've have owned the company since 2017 and have looked to grow into this property since then. So if you have any other further questions about the business, feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to ask, Dylan had a couple questions I'd like to ask. And you have to come back to the mic, please. Now, they're just going to be storing your own particular supplies here? Not for retail, is what I'm saying?
Correct, yes, no retail.
Okay.
Correct.
Do you plan on having any temporary buildings somewhere along the line?
Nope.
Okay. And are you gonna have any, like, trees, shrubs, or anything, or just when you need them, are you gonna get them?
As far as for storing purposes,
Yes,
or?
for storage.
Yeah, just temporary use. Typically, we go through our suppliers and pick up right from there. So there may be storage there for short term, but no longer than a couple days.
Okay, so this is basically where you're gonna be working out of to do your landscape work around?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the board?
I just have, it's a landscaping business. Vehicles and equipment, you got a nice garage area, building area. Is there going to be maintenance in that building? And are there requirements for oil water separators and things like that? If I don't see any drains in this drawings, but these are pretty simple drawings anyway, but.
There will not be any maintenance done. I mean, maybe some washing of the vehicles out in the parking lot, but that would be the majority of the maintenance that would be done. All oil changes and things like that will be done with a dealer or somewhere else.
Yeah, that's like,
Questions from the board?
okay, there is a detention basin there, or retention pond, yeah. That would have had to have been done just to get the approval. Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant this as per the recommendation of the staff, and with all of the recommendations and all of those items that need to be addressed, which staff can do administratively.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Does the motion need to be restated? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Or nays? No nays. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now set that aside and take one of these and pass it to your neighbor. You have one, right?
Gentlemen, you're free to go if you so desire. Thank you. Have a great day.
I went up myself anyway, so. There we go.
We are at agenda item number 7, text interpretation.
Thank you, Chair. So the Planning Department received an application requesting an interpretation of the zoning ordinance on whether a pediatric occupational therapy use with an outdoor education component meets the intent of a nonprofit educational, non-commercial recreational, and non-commercial business center use as allowed by the ordinance within the RR Rural Residential Zoning District. The township currently doesn't have a definition for this type of land use for nonprofits, however, does offer specific conditions for those who qualify and choose to develop as such. In those conditions are outlined in section 48.110 of the code and have been placed in front of you. To the best of staff's knowledge, the only property within the township that's developed under this section of the ordinance as a nonprofit is the Fetzer Institute out on KL Avenue. Staff requests that the ZBA make a finding as to whether a pediatric occupational therapy use as proposed by the applicant is a nonprofit educational, non-commercial, recreational, and non-commercial business center use as was intended to be when written in the zoning ordinance as a permitted land use. So the applicant, Rebecca Hernandez, is here with us and has submitted documentation outlining her day-to-day operations for the proposed occupational therapy use, which was included in the packet for your review. And the applicant is also, has also offered to give a brief presentation to the ZBA on the proposed use and would be happy to assist with any questions.
I have a question. Is the applicant a for-profit or a nonprofit agency?
The applicant can speak to that.
As in the letter, she said that she would be willing to provide documentation of her nonprofit status.
The applicant is not here today?
She is in attendance, yes.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, if you would like to approach the lectern, please state your name. And what else would you have to add?
So good afternoon. Thank you, Colton, again for sharing and bringing this to the board. So my name is Rebecca Hernandez, and I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. Currently, I do operate a for-profit LLC, Santosha Wellness. I've been in operation since 2017, providing pediatric occupational therapy services to the Kalamazoo area. What I'm looking to do and bring to the community, I have opened a nonprofit named the Santosha Collective, where I look to operate outdoor programming with a mission and the aim really to open access financially and otherwise for kids and families in the area to access safe outdoor spaces. So that nonprofit would be what I would be looking to operate on the land that I find. There's multiple programs that I'm hoping to run. One primarily is named Timbernook, which is a program that I will be licensing here in the fall that aims to, again, bring kids and get them outdoor, bring them outdoor, safe outdoor spaces and activities, knowing that there's a significant lack of that. And so I'm currently just in process. I have filed, I don't think the paperwork is in there that Colton sent along, but I would be happy to provide that of my articles of organization for that nonprofit. And I'm currently in process and have already submitted my paperwork for the 501c3, and I'm just waiting to hear back from that form that I filed, the 1023 form. So currently what I am starting to do is work and just look around in the Kalamazoo area, look for land. I'd be looking for approximately about 10 acres to be able to bring this program to, whether it be Oshtemo or wherever in the community that I find this land. As far as the nonprofit, what I will be doing, I already have a grant writer that will be working with me. I have quite a bit of nonprofit experience. I currently contract out to a local nonprofit and also serve on an executive board of a small nonprofit in town, and would be working closely with one place as well to ensure that I operate and grow and work with this nonprofit in the most efficient way possible. So I open it up to whatever questions. I'm in the early stages of this process, and I'm just looking to understand what I might be able to do in bringing this to the community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions from the board?
I would just add, this came to you today because a couple of the sites she is looking at are zoned rural residential, and this is a permitted use with conditions in that zoning district. So if she's going to continue to consider those sites, this would be the only avenue in if you think she fits under this.
Thank you. Further questions?
Either for Jody or for Jim, or anybody on board, really, since I'm kind of the newbie in the township, the Fetzer that we're trying to say this is the only other thing that we have that's similar, what do they do there? I don't know.
That's an interesting question. I don't know that I can fully tell you what they do.
You turn your mic on. It's under the.
All right, well, I mean, that.
So
Meg
the
might know.
the Fetzer Institute, they do trainings, workshops. I don't know how many acres they own. It's more than 10. It sits way in. You would never know the building is there. They do spiritual healing. They work with nonprofits all across the United States, and they really are focused on spirituality and healing, and moving that mission forward all across the United States.
Okay.
They do also fund, they do some funding as well. They are like a foundation as well.
Okay.
Yep.
This just came to my mind. I mean, I've driven by it a few times, and it
Yeah.
just was, I've only been here for 9 years, so it's, and that helped me out a little bit too. Okay. And you have nothing really definite and plan on moving into Oshtemo? You're just exploring, and you want to know if you can. That's what this comes down to. Is that it?
Yeah, you know, a huge aim and overall mission, and the reason that I am moving forward and opening a nonprofit is really looking at access. There's such a lack of access in general to safe outdoor spaces for more marginalized communities, and then just in general, kids are not getting outside and having this open-ended free play. And so Oshtemo would be one of my most ideal, knowing where it's located just within Southwest Michigan, when you think of just transportation access. And so it's where I would love to be, if that helps answer your question. But again, in the process of looking, I'm trying throughout this whole process, throughout my whole business, but especially and particularly with this, I want to move forward really intentionally, making sure where I'm at, I'm able to provide these services in a way that's respectful to the land, and then also within, you know, the immediate community that I find the land, which is why I really want to, of course, take this time to present my business, and also make sure that it aligns with the township.
Mm-hmm. Further questions? Further questions?
Well, I just have, the only thing we're going to be changing is paragraph 8, correct? Just to add to that, the text interpretation of the ordinance.
I don't think we're being asked to change anything. I think we're just trying to determine if this fits within the ordinance as it currently reads.
Correct. I keep looking at the ordinance the way it's written, and it kind of sounds like it fits right in there. I mean, if that other organization does, I can't see where this one doesn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to follow along the
Jim?
building sizes if you're going to build, and those are other things. So we're just, can you do it is what we're coming down to, and I don't see where there's any difference between that and the Fetzer. So I guess what I'm saying is, I see where this fits right within the text as it is. I mean, that's the way I see it.
I'm with you on this. Well, thank you for sharing. Any more questions from the board?
I think for clarification, it would be helpful if somebody could make a motion to the effect that, one way or the other, well, if you believe that the business as presented to you would fit within the definition of a nonprofit as outlined in 48-110.
Are you making that motion, Jim?
Well, he
I
can't.
would if I was.
No, but I will
a
make that
Oh,
motion
so you
that
can't.
the,
That's right.
that after review and after hearing from what this organization is about, I do believe it fits within Article 48 and 48.10.110.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Thank you. You can stick around if you like, or you can go enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. We are on agenda item number 8, other updates and business.
I'll just remind you of the joint board meeting next Tuesday evening at 5:30, right? Yeah, 5:30.
Thank you for the reminder.
It's gonna be a barn burner. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Everybody's gotta go.
bringing marshmallows.
Yes.
Any other further business? Well, it seems as though we have exhausted our agenda items. Motion to dismiss.
I make motion we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 3:25.
Not bad. I would start the conversation with Jody. We're in for